Michael Jackson earned his place in history by delivering some of the most unforgettable live performances ever seen. Millions of fans watched in awe as the King of Pop transformed every stage into a spectacular show. But behind the dazzling lights, explosive effects, and perfectly choreographed routines, things didn't always go according to plan. From dangerous stage malfunctions and unexpected technical breakdowns to moments that left audiences stunned, Michael faced challenges that could have ended performances in an instant. Yet time and time again, he proved why he was one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Today, we're looking at the most shocking stage accidents, technical failures, and behind-the-scenes disasters that occurred during Michael Jackson's legendary career.
Billie Jean, not my love.
These rare incidents revealed what happened when everything went wrong, and how Michael Jackson's professionalism helped keep the show alive, no matter the challenge. The cherry picker disaster. What was supposed to be a routine rehearsal nearly turned into a dangerous situation when one of Michael Jackson's largest stage props suddenly failed. While preparing for the dangerous world tour, Michael used a giant hydraulic lift, often called a cherry picker, to rise high above the audience. Dressed in a flowing cloak, he would appear to float over the crowd, creating one of the tour's most dramatic visual moments. But the effect depended on complex machinery working perfectly. During one rehearsal, the massive lift suddenly malfunctioned and froze while Michael was suspended high in the air. Crew members rushed into action, desperately trying to find a safe way to bring him back down before the situation became more serious. According to guitarist Jennifer Batten, stage technicians immediately began making emergency calls and working on the equipment. Despite being stranded at a considerable height, Michael remained remarkably calm. Through his microphone, he reportedly informed the crew that the problem needed immediate attention. Fortunately, the team managed to fix the issue and safely lower the platform. The tour continued without further problems, and most fans never learned how close the rehearsal came to becoming a major accident. The incident remains a powerful reminder of how quickly massive stage productions can become dangerous when technology fails. Munich stage collapse. One of the most frightening accidents of Michael Jackson's career occurred in front of thousands of fans. In 1999, during the MJ and Friends charity concert in Munich, Germany, Michael was performing Earth Song while standing on a large bridge-like structure suspended high above the audience. As part of the performance, the platform was designed to lower dramatically toward the stage. But something went terribly wrong. Halfway through the descent, the center section of the structure suddenly collapsed. Michael plunged approximately 50 feet as the platform crashed toward the ground. The audience watched in shock. For many performers, such a fall would have ended the show immediately. But Michael did something incredible. Despite the pain and confusion, he got back up and finished the performance. Most fans had no idea how serious the accident really was. Only after the concert ended did Michael seek medical treatment. Doctors later treated him for back injuries, a badly twisted ankle, and severe physical stress caused by the fall. Tour director Kenny Ortega later confirmed that a mechanical failure in the crane system caused the accident. What began as a spectacular stage effect nearly became a catastrophe and remains one of the most dangerous moments Michael Jackson ever faced on stage. The toaster failure. Sometimes a technical malfunction doesn't cause injuries, but it can still ruin a carefully planned illusion. During the Dangerous World Tour, Michael used a special stage elevator that fans nicknamed the Toaster. The device was designed to launch him onto the stage instantly, creating the illusion that he had magically appeared out of nowhere. It was one of the show's most iconic opening moments. But during one concert, the mechanism failed. Instead of shooting upward as intended, the platform slowly rose while Michael was still crouched beneath it. Thousands of fans watched the illusion unravel in real time. The surprise entrance was completely exposed. Rather than witnessing a dramatic appearance, the audience could clearly see exactly how the trick worked. For an artist famous for perfection and attention to detail, it was an unusually visible mistake. The performance continued, But the malfunction became a memorable example of how even the best stage illusions depend entirely on technology working correctly. The anti-gravity lean failure. Michael Jackson's anti-gravity lean is one of the most famous stage effects ever created. During the History World Tour, audiences around the world watched in amazement as Michael appeared to lean forward at an impossible angle, seemingly defying the laws of physics. The move became legendary. But behind the illusion was a sophisticated system involving specially designed shoes and metal pegs hidden in the stage floor. Everything had to line up perfectly. And sometimes it didn't. During performances in Tokyo in 1996 and Amsterdam in 1997, Michael's heel reportedly missed the stage anchor during the lean sequence. Without the connection locking his shoes into place, the illusion could not be performed safely. For a brief moment, disaster seemed possible. Michael and his dancers had to react instantly, regaining their balance before the mistake turned into a dangerous fall in front of thousands of fans. The audience may not have fully understood what happened, but those involved knew how close the iconic stunt came to going wrong. Even one of the greatest stage effects in entertainment history was vulnerable to a single miss. For a brief moment, one of Michael Jackson's most famous stage illusions nearly fell apart. Thousands of fans watched the performance continue, unaware of how close the iconic move came to disaster. Behind the magic and precision, the anti-gravity lean depended on perfect timing and flawless execution. One small mistake could have allowed gravity to take over completely. The Pepsi fire disaster. What started as a routine commercial shoot became one of the most painful and life-changing moments of Michael Jackson's career. On January 27, 1984, Michael was filming a Pepsi commercial at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. The production featured bright lights, energetic music, and powerful pyrotechnics designed to create a spectacular visual effect. Everything seemed to be going perfectly. Then, disaster struck. During the sixth take, a pyrotechnic effect exploded earlier than expected. Sparks flew toward Michael and ignited his hair while the cameras continued rolling. Within seconds, the set erupted into chaos. Crew members rushed to help as fire extinguishers were used to put out the flames. What had been planned as a glamorous advertising campaign suddenly became a medical emergency. Michael suffered second and third-degree burns to his scalp and was rushed to the hospital for treatment. The injuries were severe. The accident left permanent scars and led to multiple medical procedures in the years that followed. Many people believe the pain and treatments resulting from the incident had a lasting impact on Michael's personal and professional life. Even today, it remains one of the most shocking accidents ever captured on camera involving a global superstar. The backing track failure. Technology can sometimes disappear at the worst possible moment. During a concert in Brunei in 1996, Michael was performing Scream, a song that relied heavily on synchronized music, effects, and choreography. Everything was running smoothly until the audio suddenly failed. Without warning, the backing track cut out completely. The music that supported the entire performance vanished, leaving an uncomfortable silence in front of thousands of fans. Most performers would have stopped and waited for the technical team to fix the problem. Michael did the opposite. Without hesitation, he continued singing live, carrying the performance on his own while technicians worked behind the scenes. What had been designed as a carefully controlled production instantly became unpredictable. The audience witnessed something rare. Michael Jackson performing without the technological safety net that usually accompanied large-scale concerts. Instead of collapsing, the show survived because of his professionalism and experience. The technical failure could have ruined the performance, but Michael transformed it into a demonstration of true stage presence under pressure. Fan reaches the stage. Sometimes the greatest danger doesn't come from machinery. It comes from the crowd. During one concert, thousands of fans watched as Michael stood high above the audience on a hydraulic platform, creating one of the most dramatic visual moments of the show. The lights swept across the arena. The music thundered through the speakers. Then something unexpected happened. A fan managed to break through security and climb toward Michael while he was suspended above the crowd. For a few tense seconds, nobody knew what would happen next. Security personnel immediately reacted and rushed to intercept the intruder before the situation could escalate. With Michael elevated high above the audience, even a minor struggle could have become extremely dangerous. Fortunately, the fan was removed before anyone was seriously hurt. Michael remained composed throughout the incident and continued the performance as if nothing had happened. For the audience, it was a brief interruption. For security teams, it was a reminder that even the world's biggest superstar could face unpredictable risks at any moment. Whether it was collapsing platforms, malfunctioning stage equipment, dangerous pyrotechnics, technical failures, or overexcited fans, Michael Jackson repeatedly faced situations that could have ended in disaster. Yet every time, he demonstrated the professionalism, determination, and courage that helped make him the greatest performer of his generation. These incidents reveal a side of Michael Jackson that many fans never saw, not just the entertainer, but the performer who continued moving forward when everything around him seemed to be falling apart. The situation escalated in an instant. What began as a perfectly planned concert suddenly turned into a security emergency when a fan managed to reach Michael Jackson while he was suspended high above the audience. Security personnel rushed into action as the unexpected intrusion threatened to disrupt the entire performance. Yet Michael remained remarkably calm. While guards worked to regain control of the situation, the music continued and the show never stopped. Rather than panicking, Michael stayed focused and composed. Witnesses recalled that he even reached out to help steady the fan while security moved in. What could have become a dangerous confrontation instead turned into one of the night's most memorable moments. The audience didn't just witness a concert. They witnessed Michael Jackson's ability to remain calm under pressure, a quality that helped define his legendary stage presence. The Moscow slide mishap. Even the stage itself can become a hazard. During a performance in Moscow on the Dangerous World Tour, Michael stepped onto the stage expecting every movement to unfold exactly as rehearsed. His concerts were built around precision. Every step, turn, and dance move had been practiced countless times. But that night, the conditions were different. Part of the stage surface had become wet, creating an unexpectedly slippery area. As Michael moved across the platform during a routine sequence, he suddenly slid much farther than intended. For a split second, it looked as though he might lose control. But Michael reacted instantly. Instead of freezing or drawing attention to the error, he adjusted his balance and continued as if everything had happened exactly according to plan. Most fans likely never realized anything had gone wrong. To the audience, it looked like another smooth performance from the King of Pop. Behind the scenes, however, it served as another reminder that live shows can be affected by factors no performer can completely control. Bangkok backstage collapse. One of the most serious incidents of Michael Jackson's career happened before he ever reached the stage. By 1993, the Dangerous World Tour had become one of the biggest concert productions on the planet. Michael had traveled across multiple continents, performing in front of massive crowds night after night. The schedule was exhausting. Then, just hours before a scheduled concert in Bangkok, disaster struck behind the scenes. Michael reportedly suffered severe dehydration and collapsed backstage. The medical emergency was serious enough that the concert had to be canceled, leaving thousands of disappointed fans waiting for a performance that never happened. At first, only limited information was released to the public. But as the year progressed, it became clear that Michael was dealing with much deeper health challenges. The relentless demands of touring, constant travel, intense performances, and personal pressures had taken a significant toll on his physical condition. Later, in 1993, Michael publicly revealed that he had developed a dependency on prescription pain medication and announced plans to seek treatment. The Bangkok collapse became one of the earliest public signs that the pressures of superstardom were affecting him far beyond what fans could see on stage. It was a powerful reminder that even the world's biggest entertainer was not immune to exhaustion, stress, and the physical demands of a life lived under constant scrutiny.
As you may already know, after my tour ended, I remain out of the country undergoing treatment for a dependency on pain medication.
By November 1993, the remaining dates of the Dangerous World Tour were officially canceled. What began as a backstage collapse eventually became a turning point in Michael Jackson's career. The physical and emotional pressures of constant touring had finally caught up with him, bringing one of the most ambitious concert tours in history to an unexpected end. The mythical on-stage firing. Not every famous Michael Jackson stage incident was actually a disaster. Some became legends simply because fans misunderstood what they were seeing. During the 1996 Royal Brunei concert, Michael was performing I Just Can't Stop Loving You alongside vocalist Marva Hicks. In the middle of the song, a brief technical timing issue occurred, prompting Michael to communicate with his longtime musical director, Brad Buxer. The interaction lasted only a few seconds, but it sparked a rumor that would survive for years. Many fans became convinced that Michael had fired Brad Buxer live on stage, claiming that he shouted phrases like, "You're gone," or "Job gone" after the mistake. The truth was far less dramatic. What appeared to be a public confrontation was actually a professional response to a technical issue. Michael continued singing while quietly directing his crew, preventing most of the audience from noticing that anything had gone wrong at all. A minor misunderstanding eventually grew into one of the most persistent myths in Michael Jackson concert history. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more stories about the King of Pop. Smooth Criminal's impossible illusion. Some of Michael Jackson's most unforgettable moments weren't accidents at all. They were carefully engineered illusions that seemed impossible. Smooth Criminal became one of the defining songs of Michael's career. Inspired by classic film noir and developed from an early version called Al Capone, the track combined suspense, danger, and cinematic storytelling. In the studio, Michael and producer Quincy Jones experimented with innovative sounds and production techniques to create the song's unique atmosphere. But the greatest surprise came on stage. During live performances, audiences witnessed the famous forward lean, a move that appeared to defy the laws of physics. Night after night, Michael and his dancers leaned forward at an impossible angle, leaving fans around the world wondering how it was possible. The secret was hidden in specially designed shoes and stage anchors that locked performers securely into position. Even after the mechanics became public knowledge, the illusion remained astonishing. The move became one of the most recognizable images in entertainment history and helped transform Smooth Criminal into something far greater than a hit song. It became a cultural phenomenon. Thriller Final Rehearsal. Few songs are as closely associated with Michael Jackson as Thriller. The music video revolutionized popular culture, inspired generations of performers, and became one of the most iconic productions ever created. But behind every unforgettable performance stood countless hours of preparation. Years after its original release, Michael continued refining and reimagining Thriller for live audiences. Every movement, every visual effect, and every dramatic moment was rehearsed repeatedly to achieve perfection. As major tours and special performances approached, final rehearsals often became intense creative sessions where even the smallest details were adjusted. For Michael, rehearsal wasn't just preparation. It was where the magic was created. The dedication he brought to those final practice sessions helped ensure that audiences experienced the polished, larger-than-life performances that made him a global legend. And even after decades of success, Michael never stopped pushing himself to improve, proving that greatness wasn't simply the result of talent. It was the result of relentless commitment to perfection.
And bang, shoulder, and bop, and hit, and bop.
As the years passed, Michael Jackson continued pushing the boundaries of live entertainment. Every new tour introduced bigger visuals, more advanced technology, and increasingly ambitious stage productions. But with that ambition came enormous pressure to maintain perfection night after night. Thriller Final Rehearsal. Few performances in music history carry the legacy of Thriller. What began as a groundbreaking song in 1982 eventually evolved into one of the most iconic live productions ever staged. With each new tour and special appearance, Michael expanded the spectacle, incorporating larger visuals, advanced stage technology, and cinematic storytelling. Yet beneath all the grand effects was a performance that demanded incredible precision. Written by Rod Temperton and produced by Quincy Jones, Thriller remained one of the most technically demanding songs in Michael's catalog. Even after performing it countless times, he continued working to preserve the energy, timing, and vocal delivery that had made the song legendary. Nothing was left to chance. Every dance move, lighting cue, costume change, and visual effect had to be perfectly synchronized. Rehearsals often stretched for hours as Michael refined every detail, searching for ways to make each performance even better than the last. The production also highlighted Vincent Price's unforgettable spoken segment, adding an eerie theatrical atmosphere that helped transform the song from a simple pop hit into a full-scale cinematic experience. By the time audiences saw the finished performance, months of preparation had already taken place behind the scenes. What fans witnessed was not just entertainment, it was the result of relentless dedication to perfection. From its unforgettable melody and revolutionary music video to its spectacular live performances, Thriller remained decades ahead of its time. And that may be the greatest lesson behind all of these stories. Whether he was dealing with collapsing platforms, dangerous pyrotechnics, malfunctioning stage equipment, technical failures, security breaches, or physically exhausting tours, Michael Jackson never stopped striving for excellence. Every challenge tested him, every setback pushed him, and every performance reinforced why he became known as the King of Pop. Behind the legendary dance moves, iconic songs, and record-breaking concerts was a performer willing to overcome obstacles that most artists never face. Those moments of adversity revealed something just as impressive as his talent, his determination. Because when things went wrong, Michael Jackson didn't simply survive the challenge. He kept performing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories about Michael Jackson's incredible career and the unforgettable moments that made history.
Go. Yeah. Right. Your preparation. So you should just be coming off the left foot.
Dangerous tour ignition. The silence didn't last long. One moment, the arena was frozen in anticipation. The next, it exploded with energy. After Michael Jackson's famous Toaster entrance opened the Dangerous World Tour, fans were already on the edge of their seats. But the real excitement began when the opening beats of Wanna Be Startin' Somethin' thundered through the venue. For nearly 2 minutes, Michael stood almost completely motionless. The crowd roared louder with every passing second. Then, everything changed. The moment the music kicked in, the entire arena erupted. Dancers burst into motion, lights flashed across the stage, and every element of the production came alive at once. The transition was breathtaking. What had been complete stillness suddenly transformed into one of the most energetic openings ever seen in a live concert. The choreography, lighting effects, music, and stage movements all worked together with incredible precision. But making that moment look effortless was far more difficult than it appeared. Behind the scenes, the performers faced a major challenge. They had to go from standing perfectly still for an extended period to executing fast-paced choreography within seconds. There was no room for hesitation. Every dancer had to hit their marks precisely. Every lighting cue had to trigger at exactly the right moment. Every movement had to match the music perfectly. One mistake could have disrupted the entire sequence. Yet night after night, the team delivered one of the most electrifying concert openings in entertainment history. The performance showcased not only Michael Jackson's stage presence, but also the extraordinary level of preparation and discipline required to create a production of that scale. What audiences experienced as pure excitement was actually the result of countless hours of rehearsal, coordination, and flawless execution. And when everything worked as planned, the result was unforgettable.